Well, here we go again. It's Monday, yes, Monday and another lockdown week. The video this morning will be for you to be strengthening legs and strengthening trunk. Let us know if you're in the room. I'll stand away from the front to make sure I can see some of the people that are wandering in. So 4 of you ready, that's grand. The first workout needs no equipment at all. It's simply going to be your body against gravity using a mat. Good morning, Sarah and Jane. Great to see you. Happy Monday. Are we finding it a bit of a drag? I think the answer might be yes, but we're here. The whole aim for this morning would be to chase away anything that we don't really want around us and in terms of mind and body. Good morning, Lorna, Lindsay and Patricia. Welcome. And here's to a nice hot kind of workout. The core stability stuff is going to be simply conducted using all of the usual squat positions and using some all fours plank versions. If you're wanting to get yourself ready, there won't be any equipment unless you want to particularly use it. For example, in relationship to squats, you might want to use the roller. Good morning, Kath and Diane. Kath's and grandma yet again. So congratulations, Kath. Good morning, Ken. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to Anne. It's good to see us all getting ready to go and to chase this week into submission, I think, is the best way to describe it. We'll sort our minds out, our bodies out, and kick the week off. Before we know it, we'll be through another week. In relationship to what we're doing, I'll remind you again, it's going to be squats, varying different leg positions and different kind of staying moments into various long arm to plank to all fours. That's what's going to be happening in this moment. So if you're ready, I'm ready, and we're ready, therefore, to allow the programme to get going. Here we are. As you can tell, I'm possibly a little bit tired, not sure why, but we're on. Find your place into your mat. Find that space for you that makes the most sense. You're going to start with that very parallel position, maybe just slightly wider than hip bones or bang under those hip bones. Because the sequence needs breathing, you're going to hold your hand to the belly button area just above it and your hand below it, so navel in the middle, hand, and start with your breathing muscles whilst you allow the body to relax into a gentle rocking motion. You're inhaling and exhaling, finding the breathing muscles that connect to your core and to also quieten the mind. In through the nose you'll breathe and out through the mouth. You might find yourself lifting your toes as you go into your heels and rolling towards your toes as you go away from your heels. It doesn't really matter. You're aiming for a little bit of a rhythm going back into the body. Inhale as deep as you can. And exhale. Allow the hands to go now that you've registered the breath coming through the whole trunk area, inhaling and exhaling. This is the most mellow it's going to be, so enjoy the gentle warming up, me inviting you and inviting myself to tune into the breathing muscles and a good standing core posture that's relatively neutral and known to you, okay? So you've changed out of your sway back, flat back, lordosis, kyphosis, and you're the best alignment you could be. Okay, we're going to keep our heels so that they're planted, arch of the feet activated, and we find the squat. Slowly out to inhaling and exhaling. The breathing will keep you developing this deeper and deeper connection with your core, the inhaling and hinging at the hip, and the exhaling. So we're trying to get the furnace of the breath muscles going, the heat happening in the body. Every breath out you take, find it to be coming from deeper and deeper within, because every inhale that you make should be going more and more into the whole of the trunk area. Expand the lungs, expand the breath wide to the sides. Keeping this movement pattern going then, as you slow motion find that perfect position at the ankle knee, and more significant the hip, finding the squat as the breath in happens and the breath out. Keep your load through your heels. As you're going up and down now, nod the chin towards the throat and make corrections to the upper body. If you do happen to be using a roller, then by all means reach your arms back over that roller behind you or in front of you. If your arms are free, start to increase the movement pattern of the body by allowing your arms to go forwards and back. If the moment your arms start to be involved, you find that you go all over the place or you become head the eagle, then don't do it. Keep your arms reaching back. It's more important that the big muscles that make up the heel to bum area get involved accurately around each joint, and that the breathing is your main event. People, we're going to stay down here this time. I feel as though we've probably got some nice warmth going on. In the downwards phase then, you're inhaling and doing that more spring-like version of end range move, feeling increased activation of the hamstring glute area, keeping the shoulder blades towards each other and exhaling. Again, if you're holding a roll, you keep it back, obviously in the arms still, chest wide open, breathing in and breathing out. Encouraging pelvic floor, navel to spine activation. The drawing up on the pelvic floor without tucking the bottom under, keeping this action going on around the joints from heel to knee to hip. And then we're going to stay for this next moment, hold. Ready for pelvic tilt, which is more the nurture of the lower back. Breath out, pelvic floor, creates that pelvic imprint. The lower back lengthens with a lovely sense of smoothness rather than jarring, and then go back to neutral. 3 more times, just the breath out is the pelvic floor, internal oblique connect, and the breath in is your sit bones reaching away. Keeping the weight out of the toes and keeping the pelvic floor active and the bum cheeks not gripping. Ideally, the chin isn't poking forwards, although I understand it's hard when we're all aware of a screen. Final pelvic imprint, and then you're ready to stand up. You're going to do another 8 squats, and again choose your range of movement and your activation, whether it's upper body and lower body, and make the breathing deeper and probably more vigorous than ever. You've got 1 more before we go down to stay. This is the one. Staying there then. I'm going to reach my hands backwards as I go back through the spring. I've got 8 springs in total, which is the inhale, lower lift, exhale, lower lift. And then I'm going to add, stay still by picking up my right foot to tiptoes and inviting the left-hand side to do more work than the right, inhaling and exhaling. The increased intensity goes into the hamstring and glute area on the left-hand side of you. You keep your breathing muscles going, you're widening through the collarbones, you're inhaling into the abdominal area and exhaling, and then we change sides. The heel comes up and you're monitoring the shortness between the rib and the hip, making sure it stays equal, and aiming to not drift over to the side where the workload's happening. So it's very easy to sway over. We're trying not to let that happen. And the breathing muscles now starting to create a greater heat connection as the big muscles push and pull blood around the body. Okay, people, and put that heel down. Up you stand and you squat, and down you go. We're now doing another 8 squats before I do our final add-on for the parallel leg warm-up. I've taken my breathing to a lowering and a lifting on one part of the breath, a hinging and extending on the other part of the breath. It's up to you. I'm kind of quite practice at it, which is why I find it easy to do a lengthened breath. And final, staying down there. I'm going to pick up my right foot and tap it to the side, tap it to the side. I'm keeping everything lined up. You can do what you want with your arms to help you stay without shifting over to the left because it's the left leg. No twisting, no collapsing at the pelvis from left to right. You've got 8 to 10 of these reaches. Waking up the abductor now, so the side bottom is working really hard and you're ready to change sides. Check you're in neutral, pelvic position and reach. Never be afraid of shimmying around a bit if you think, not sure I'm straight. As long as your sensation that the demand is coming from your side bottom, we can cope, can't we? If it's coming from the front of the nickel line, it's wrong. If it's in your knee joint, it's wrong. If it's in your lower back, it's wrong. Anywhere else, side bottom, some of the medialis muscle in the quad, and obviously the breathing muscles. It's your last one this time, reaching to the side and back, and stay. Sit deeper into your squat, breathe in. Exhale, keep the hands on the knees and bend the rolling rib cage spine forwards. Breathe into your back to stretch everything out. Breathe out and flow down, down, down. Inhale down here and then breath out to bring your body to your first all fours position. Use your mat for the side width of the hands. Spread the fingers, find your back of the wrist. It's as though your chest is between the two thumbs, your toes are tucked under. Ready for slow motion, knee hovers, breathe in. Exhaling, core connect, navel to spine. Push the ground away, exhaling, and slow motion lower to the ground, inhaling. It's a lengthening and a lengthening on the inhaling. The breath is long and it gives you the chance to cue your pelvic floor and your internal obliques. Your 3 more. And inhaling, keeping the collarbones wide. Lats and serrats are involved and the crown of your head is reaching forwards. Your chin is nodded in with your nose pointing right down between the tip of the fingers area, and you're going to stay in your hover. Breathe in. Ready for down dog or pyramid. So find your heels and push them down. Inhale, come back up to tippy toes and down onto hovered knees. Breathe. Exhaling, up you go. Inhale, push down. Take yourself back to tiptoes. Pull your armpits forwards and you've got your knee hovers. Inhaling. Exhale up. Inhale, reach down and push the ground away. Exhaling. Pull yourself forward to your knee hovers. Breathe in. Breathe out. Keep the tailbone from tucking under. Refuse to go into a kind of flat back version or pelvic tilt here. By all means, extend the chest. Find your tiptoes. This is the last sequence. Holding the slow motion version of life. Up we go. Reach down through your heels. Push the floor away. Pull your shoulders away from the neck. Get the opening through the back of the shoulder, the front of the chest. And from here then, bend the knees and start to walk your hands back. I want the legs to be really bent, the head hanging. Breathe in. Place one hand and the other hand on the thigh. Breath out, pelvic floor and pelvic rolling all the way up. So you find yourself back into your stand. Next standing position, you're going to go to turn out. In turn out then, find your hinge of the hip and squatting and standing. Your breath can be inhaling down, exhaling up, or if you can do this slowly with lengthened inhale for one plie squat, lengthened exhale for the other, whichever way, you're keeping this length through the trunk and you're keeping a connection with the breathing. The upper back is staying connected, shoulder blade to shoulder blade with your mid-rhomboids. Your rib cage isn't popping, is it? Because you're staying core connected using the obliques. Keep going, got about another 8. Be sure to finish off, so if you hinge and then you stand, some of you end up staying kind of not quite upright. The deal is to come to a true upright position because that's how we spend life. You don't want to spend life with a semi-bent flexed hip. 3 more. Inhaling, feel the thighs widen, feel the weight go to the outsides of the feet and your abdominals support the pelvic positioning. Staying down there then, check both thighs are still level, keep the shoulders back. You're now going to do the end range work, and if the pelvic floor, inhaling, pelvic floor on the exhale gets more of a look in and you can sense it more, so they drawing up on pelvic floor, drawing navel to spine as the breath out and ribcage placement's constantly being cued, should take you to a lovely place of open spaced hip work. Remember, we don't do too much turnout if we're sore here. You don't want to be sore here. It should stay in the back end of you and somewhere towards the front end here, near the knee joint, but nowhere across the front of the hip. People, the next time you breathe out, you're going to stay and then exhale, pelvic tilt. That gives a lovely stretch, the lumbar, breathe in, and then breath out, allow the pelvis to go back to neutral, breathe in. Breath out, pelvic floor draws up, navel draws in, the pubis tips forward, the tailbone tucks under, without it travelling too far up the back, and inhale, you allow that releasing back. Last time, exhale, pelvic tilt, stay, and roll yourself all the way up to stand, perfect alignment. Now you're going to inhale down, you're going to squat, and exhale, stand. Pull the thighs back, make absolute technical awareness. The thighs are open, the thighs pull wider than the feet almost. Your feet are 10 past the hour maximally. And the plie squat is done with the pelvic floor connecting you and the neutral pelvic position supporting into a lumbar spine that's accurate. As you sit your bum back and pull your hips forwards and stay. Breathing here then, inhaling and exhaling, nod the chin, pick up your right foot to tiptoes as you did in parallel. Distribute the weight more into your left hand side, but still keep the ball of the foot connected. And if I was looking at you, I want to see your pelvis absolutely level. And the inhaling and exhaling. Press the ground away, pull the ground to you. Keep the chin nodded. And are you ready to switch the other side? So stay still, push the other heel down and pull the other heel up. It's a bit leprechaun-like, or Irish dancing-like. If you can feel your lower back, then we know you've lost your core connection. Pelvic floor, navel, spine, maybe you need to even bend your ribs a bit more to switch off overly active back extensors. Don't tuck your bottom under, that's not an option. It can be that the ribs bend a bit, but you can't tuck under. And then next time, pull both heels down, exhale and stand. Inhale into your plie squat again, exhale back. Inhaling, you can still do this plie squat with a roller. The roller simply be behind you on the back of the pelvis or at the front of you, and you can flow your arms. The floaty action, almost like a ballet-like movement pattern. Shoulders don't shift, your arms move within a stable joint. The stability going from pelvis all the way through to upper back, shoulder, front. Next time you go down, stay. Take your hands to the side, pick up your right foot to tiptoes. Make sure you haven't twisted and then point out sideways and pull back in. You're reaching it out to the side and pulling back in. You're refusing to move the pelvis into any twist, and your range of movement stays in turnout on both the stabilising leg and the mobilising leg. I nearly fell over. Okay, 2 more. 1 more, and drive that heel down. Ready for the other side. Transference of load, no shift of the hip, and you reach. The arms can do whatever you need to make sure we target the right part for stability. Nothing in the knee joint, nothing across the nipple line, and nothing in the back extensors. I've been one-to-oneing this week as part of rehab programming, and I found quite a bit of activation of spines in squat, which I find intriguing because that's never meant to be the case. All right, people, the last time, and then you pull both heels down, breathe, exhale, and hands on thighs, bend your rib cage, keep your feet parallel, bend over the ribs, over the chest, breast, pec area, breathe in, and roll down. Hands on the floor, stretch the legs and bend. Keeping the pelvis true, you may find one side feels far more intense than the other, and that's because we've got our hands and our feet connecting to the floor and we're resisting drifting pelvically, so the true stretch happens where it belongs. Are you ready? Keep your head down, pick up your heels to go to parallel, and we're going to walk to a plank position. Finding yourself in plank then, staying in plank, inhaling. If it's too intense, then come to 3/4 plank, whichever way, nothing in the back. Exhale, core connect, push up to your pyramid, and inhale, pull back to your plank. Breathe out, up to your pyramid. Breathe in and draw through the armpit,
Chest comes forwards into plank. Pelvic floor draws up. Hips determined to stay level and pulling forwards. This is a breathing exercise. Trunk stabilisation, big breathing options as you take your hips into a hinge and pull forwards into your plank. Armpits stay activated, relax and relax. Shoulders always coming away from the neck, but crown of the head reaching away from the shoulders. Inhaling up there, exhaling back down. Inhale up and stay where you are breathing. Bend the legs and slowly walk your hands back, back. Plant your heels down, put your hands to your knees, chin to chest, and return roll the spine all the way up till you find yourself stood up tall and rearrange your clothing. Final final strength work for the legs. That was an interesting one. You're finding yourself into your turnout with wide legs. Sit your bottom right back, hinging at the hip. It's our equivalent of sumo squat. Inhale to pull the seat backwards. Breath out to push it back up. Pulling the hips back and up. Keep your arms reaching if you want to keep the shoulders open. If you find it quite easy to work with the upper body as well as all of the leg movements, you can do an open close arm action. Inhale, remember you have to breathe. Invite pelvic floor as part of the pushing of the ground away, and the thigh bones want to pull over the outside of the feet. In other words, don't allow your ankles to roll in. You're ready for this next one? We'll stay down. Staying down there, and put your hands to the sides of your thighs as you deepen. Same hinged hip position. Inhaling, exhaling, nod the chin in. So because I'm doing lots of talking, it's quite interesting. I'm more likely to brace my back extensors, which I rarely ever do if I'm performing just my exercise routines. It really is necessary to breathe that rib cage into a continuous connection to make sure that the front of you stabilises the spine rather than the back extensors overworking. Next time you go down deep, stay, breathe, breath out to pelvic tilt, breathe in, stay in your tilt, and then breathe out, rolling all the way through as your legs straighten and your back to upright. We go plie wide squat for 10, and we'll stay down and add something. Inhale, down you go, breath out. Arms can either mimic the trunk or they can be added as an open and close. I'm not interested in arms except that they honour the pelvic to shoulder alignment. Down you go to stay. Down here to stay then. Go back to hands to the side of the thighs and pick up my left leg this time to tiptoes. So same pattern of movements that we're going through. One heel raise as you lower and lift. There's no twist. By all means let the head look down. If it helps you get more rib cage connect and stay out of any lumbar to back extensor relationship. Keep it all pelvic floor nailed to spine. Plant that heel down. Pick up the other heel. We will be getting a bit tired in the legs, that's the whole point. Although I'm not saying this is some kind of big cardio activity, it's not. It's a strength and a connection for all of your joints, so that should you be running around cycling, you've realigned, strengthened, stabilised everything appropriately, rather than just hoping the best through lots of kind of dynamic movement or gardening. Okay people, last two. And plant the heel down, deepen again, breath out to pelvic tilt and up to stand. Now this is the next bit. You're going to go down for 3, 2, 1 and then push. 3, 2, 1, push the other way. 3, 2, 1 and push. 3, 2. So we've got a wide squat into a leg lift. You almost need to work your arms with your leg. Deepen, deepen, spring and reach, deepen, deepen, hinge and push. 3, 2, now we're getting into the side of the bottom. You keep it going. You're getting into the side bum and increasingly able to have that momentary stillness, which is your single leg stabilizing. She says 1, 2, and push. 1, 2, sit into your bottom and open. Sit, sit, and open. 3, 2, and reach. So you start being supplemented by the big sumo squat. All side bottom, side leg, abduct, and let that go. Find yourself with wide feet at the bottom end of your mat. Your final sequence, she says, getting hair in her eyes. Deepen squat, nowhere near as wide as it was for the workout, but certainly wider than, and then roll down. Inhaling, legs stay bent, breath out. Spine is flat here, but round in the rib cage, neck, and then away you come into your plank. Finding your perfect alignment. This one, the knee's going to pull out wide and then return back. So you're in a star already. If you want to keep your head down, you can. If it helps you, watch where your feet go. Don't tuck the bottom under. And with the head down, it's the rib cage that's slightly bent, not the lower back. I pull one leg towards my outside elbow area, or think outside of the mat. Keep the ground pressing away from my armpit. Okay, people, one more each side. Last time. And bend the knees. Control the journey of returning. Legs bent, head hanging. Pelvic floor, navel to spine. And then leaving the head hanging. Reverse roll through the posture, reorganizing the spine. And finding yourself upright with your hair out of your mouth. All right, that was your workout. I'm going to quickly transition by turning the video off and restarting it. That workout you've just done is all meant to be amplifying what we call the global muscles. You're awake, you're alive, and if you manage to breathe rhythmically, systematically increasing the depth of the inhaling and the exhaling, then you'll have had a great mind-body core wake-up. I'll see you in a moment with some Pilates stuff, but in the meantime, have a great day, live well, and make good choices.